Hi friends, it's Julia. I'm here to share a layout that I created using my April 2016 Counterfeit Kit Challenge kit. This was a really large kit, and I kind of grouped papers together when I was starting this kit. This was probably midway through the process. I had grouped these papers together thinking I would make a layout out of them, and that was a close to my heart sketch that you saw there. And I have this scallop piece of paper that's been in my stash for a long time, and I had planned to use either it or the other one on this layout. Well, as I was trying to take off the branding strip from that, it was stuck and I couldn't get it loose. And then when I was trying to take it off, I actually tore a little bit of the bottom. So I'm like, oh, just do away with it. So I cut it off. I cut off the scallop edging all the way around. And I thought, okay, well, I'll go ahead and use this piece and then use the other scallop on top of it since I cut the scallops off. And I'm thinking about it as I go through how I'm going to place the photos, because I have there a little bit less than 4x6 photos. My son's girlfriend gave them to me to scrapbook to put in my granddaughter's album. And so they're not true 4x6. And so I was thinking, how am I going to use this? And I thought if I put it up against the top of the page, then I can do something different. And then I thought if I put it there, I can do this or do that. And ultimately, I just take the scallop away. I'm still looking through, I'm still thinking as I'm cutting these photos down, and I just don't think that scallop is going to work the way that I have it. And I'm thinking these things through, and I remember distinctly thinking these things as I went through and cut the photos down. I'm like, oh, I'm just not going to like this. It's going to be too blunt of an edge at the top with that scallop that doesn't go all the way to the edges, and it's not going to feel right. So what I end up doing is just taking the scallop completely out, and I can tell as I'm cutting the photos down it's not going to work. So then I opt to pull in this additional piece of paper, which is more like the inspiration layout that I was using from, I forget the name of those little books that came from close to my heart. They're almost like little magazine books. With lots of different, like the same sketch and two or three different layouts in them. Part of it was to have a border strip below that, below the square of photos or the rectangle of photos. And so I pulled out this border strip thinking that I would use it. And so I'm just looking through some different elements to see what else I want to use. And I pull out that border strip and I think, okay, if I'm going to start laying a border strip down, then I kind of need to know where I'm going to put the photos at. And so I go through there and just adhere the photos down to the pink sheet of paper. And I am absolutely one to pick it and stick it and then regret it. I can completely put a layout together without gluing anything down. And then when it's time to start gluing things down, I still do it then. I'm constantly lifting tape up to, change things around. And so I place this here. Why? I don't know, because I'm going to move it. I'm going to move this too. It's so funny to watch these videos back and remember what was going through my head. Don't leave it. I keep telling myself, don't leave it there. Don't leave it there. It's too high up. It doesn't look right. It's not going to work for you. But, I guess that's all of the creative process, as you go. I pulled out that old, I think it's Making Memories. It was just a little piece of journal paper that was in a little spiral notebook when I first bought it, and I tore them all out. And so I'm just ruffling up the edges of it thinking, okay, I'll use that to do some journaling on. And so that's when I decide, in order for it to fit there, it's going to look funny on that top corner. So then I have to move everything down. Like I said, pick it, stick it, and regret it. Oh, well, say la vie, right? And so then I just go right back in with that same border strip. I just move it all down a little bit. And I press down, but I don't press down just uber hard. I want to leave myself a little bit of room. And I realize I'm not going to have, I don't want that scallop edge to be all the way to the side. And so I kind of move the photos over a little bit to give me some additional room to place that journal spot under the photo without it touching the edge of the paper. I'll get it together. I guess I really didn't, take all that much time to place it down. As you can see, I went and I got another cup of coffee. So I'm using part of that scallop edge that I cut off the scallop paper, that floral paper in the background. I'm just using it right across there. And I'm thinking to myself that I need something right up under the photos as to take up some of the space that's there. So I have these little scraps of paper, and so I just make sure that they're cut to the correct photo size and then lay them down just right up under. And I think I took some time to plan out my title as well. Over to the side, it says Summer Swingin', not I-N-G. I think it's just Swingin', S-W-I-N-G-I-N. And so there I decide I'm going to put some of those rub-ons across the top, and they're older, and they don't stick so great with just the tool that you use to put them down. And so what I do is I get my sharp edge palette knife, and then I use that to place them down. And you can see I cut them apart because I'm not going to place them, in a solid row. I'm going to space them a little bit. And so I've put them all across there, across the top of the layout. And I'll tell you now, part of this layout got cut off at the end. And we're getting close to that point. But I was going along, and for some reason, my camera had stopped making any noise. I don't know what I did to it, that it stopped giving me a warning beep telling me I'm at the end of my 15-minute recording time, or I've run out of disk space, or, that kind of thing. And so it would stop, and I would have no idea. So basically, I finally reset everything to factory settings, and then went back and modified all of my noises and etc. Replaced all of my settings in there because I couldn't get it to return. I couldn't get the beep to come back. So you saw I put another rub on there. It was a flower, and so I used part of the flower on the journal spot where you could see it, and then I took what was left over and put it kind of beside that to make it almost look like a bigger flower. I'll frou-frou around with the washi tape a little bit to get it like I want it. And then I'll put a little on the other side as well. And then I go through and I add a lot more embellishment to this. You can see I have all those banner strips cut out there. I had gone through and kind of thought about when I was laying this layout out and looking at the sketch and that sort of thing, thinking about what I had as far as scrap wise that would work to mimic what was in the original layout. And so lots of little banner pieces was part of it. And so I just went through my scraps and cut those out before I started the layout. And again, pick it, stick it, and regret it. I decide I want to place some washi tape on there, but I want it to be below that scallop edge on that border sticker. I'm surprised that border sticker still sticks. I've lifted it so many times now, but it does. And it's held up really well. And for some reason, that makes all the difference in the world to me, where that sticker laying there just before, it just didn't work good. So I'm going to start laying down my title. I'm looking at some other embellishments and things and deciding what I want to do. And I place my title starting with the word on the end of the page and then work backwards in order to get it all on there. I go back, I add bling, I add butterflies, I add buttons, and I embellish up the letters as well. I do have close-ups at the end, so stay tuned for those. And I really appreciate you sticking around and watching my videos. And I would love, love, love if you would flick me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I hope this was an inspiration to you all. Anyway, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.